I think it was pretty interesting. I won the CFO of the Year award in insurance, and so we had a debate on one of the platforms that I was on, and someone mentioned, "Oh, there's a W award ongoing. Why are you not nominating Rashidat?" And I just said, "Oh, you guys are joking. Just let's move on." And before I knew what was happening, everyone sort of like nominated me.
And why were they nominating you? What have you been doing?
I think, I guess I've been doing a bit in my own industry. I'm the CFO of my company. We have a group of companies, AXA Mansard. So we have insurance, health, as well as asset management. And overall, I'm also quite involved in the industry, in the insurance industry. I currently chair the Insurance Association, the Accounting Technical Committee itself of the Insurance Association. And so it's always quite engaging being involved. And I think a combination of those things, as well as some interesting exchanges we've had. For example, in our industry, we have issues around taxation, and we've been working fervently on this. I've been involved in even talking to the former coordinating minister, trying to ensure that we can bring to them the attention of how important it was to make amendments in this very wrong tax rule that came up in 2007, which hasn't been beneficial for the industry. Outside all the other initiatives we're trying to drive, to just not just to ensure that our company itself is successful, but to ensure that we're actually operating in a successful industry. As you're probably aware, the insurance industry isn't where it ought to be yet, but we know we're going to be there very soon.
Okay, Mrs. Uko, you said something about looking at the women on the middle ladder and the lower. How do you intend to inspire them? How do you intend to, yes, you said you want to raise their hands and, you know, pull them up too. How do you intend to do this, or any woman at all?
Yeah. Okay, you know, at the moment, I partner with some women organizations, youth organizations as well, and some social enterprises. And so I use this, you know, as platforms, these organizations are platform to mentor, to coach, and to inspire, you know, these young women. I find that face-to-face interaction is absolutely important, you know, so where they have those events, you know, where it requires the young women to be there, I ensure that I'm there, you know, interacting. And then we take it, you know, outside of there, you know, follow up, set objectives, and track, you know, their progress. And I must say that, you know, quite a lot of them, you know, I'm really proud to say quite a lot of them have actually excelled, you know, in their different careers. Now, I also have a followership on social media, you know, almost hitting 100,000. And I must say that about 70% of those are women, young women. As you know, social media is dominated by the younger, you know, generation. So I use this as my platform as well to inspire, to pass on career tips. And I do find that also from there, interactions start, and then, you know, I follow up. Of course, sometime in the future, I'm going to set up my own independent, you know, women organization. But for now, I'm using those platforms.
Will you be giving out awards too? So
Maybe.
But let me ask this question to you.
Okay.
Okay. It looks as they're all professionals. It looks like Access Bank chose to look at the formal sector, or was the informal sector also included in this initiative?
The initiative covers the 3 broad stages of a woman's life. You know, and yes, she's a professional because she's a pharmacist, she's a trained pharmacist, but she's now an entrepreneur because she has chains of distribution outlets where she runs her business from. The award categories were in we had 4 award categories. We have the W Young Professional, so that's looking at the professional. We have the W Seasoned Professional, which is a more senior person. We also had the W Entrepreneur, which is the category that Vuki won. And we have the W Amazon. The W Amazon are not here because we ended up having 3 women in that category. But what we've done is we looked at the professional angle, corporate Nigeria, and we also looked at entrepreneurship. For what W Initiative stands for, we look at women across the 3 different stages of their life. We look at you when you're starting out. So you have the W Young Professional. So the awards are actually tailored towards the segments that W focuses on. So we have the W Young Professional, we have the W in business, we have the W and family. The W and family is the woman that is like me, like her. We run families, successful families, and we also hold very successful career as well. We also have successful career as well. Then we have the W in business, which is where Buki will sit perfectly, even though she still also juggles the needs of her family alongside with her business. But if you look at these three broad categories, their needs are quite different, even though they are all women. So our needs as a W entrepreneur or W in business is quite different from mine. So she's struggling with I hope everybody resumed at work today. I hope, how are we going to pay salaries? I don't worry about paying salaries. I worry about when my salary is going to get paid. However, I also have responsibility for people that work with me. So our needs are different. She juggles family, I juggle family as well. So in speaking to her needs, I speak to her differently because I understand what her needs are. When you go to a young professional can also be cut across being very young in your career, and also when you start to raise a family. Equal said something I think is quite insightful. The fact that when you look at women and you look at corporate Nigeria, if you take a training school class, for instance, we use that as an example in my organization. You have a mix of, let's say you have a class of 30 entry-level professionals. You could have a mix of 50-50. As they get to the middle, it can become 5-90. And the people that make the 5% suddenly are the women, because for a lot of young people, as they rise, as they climb the career ladder, it's a bit of a struggle. But when they see people like Iko ahead and a lot of other women in that position, it's a source of encouragement and inspiration for them. So that's what the W is all about. She's mentioned inspiration, so W is about inspiring, connecting, and empowering women. And we think a platform like the awards is a good one to showcase that you don't need to quit somewhere along the line. A lot of people have done the same thing you're going through, and you can be successful. For the entrepreneur as well, entrepreneurship I hear is very challenging. Listening to stories all around. I mean, she's done this for 16 years. I think doing something for 16 years is worthy of recognition.
I was thinking, we're talking about empowering women, inspiring them. As an entrepreneur, how do you think a Nigerian woman can indeed be empowered? Based on, you hear some stories about some ladies just wanting to just look beautiful just so a man can, buy them cars. And how do you think a Nigerian woman can be empowered so that indeed she can stand on her own and stand out?
For me, I think there are a few ways that Nigerian women can be empowered. The first is, I guess, just getting an education and having a job or running one's business. Financial literacy is extremely important, and I find that a lot of women are not particularly, they're struggling in this area. Networking is absolutely important. I'm a late bloomer when it comes to networking, but I'm doing a good job now. And I'm talking about purposeful networking, the type that can help you achieve your potential. Mentoring is also critical, and that's where we come in. The fact that we're able to use our platforms, the different platforms that we have, to push, like my friend says, we're not going to leave any woman behind. I'm personally passionate about business development, about entrepreneurship, about continuous learning, and I get to speak at different occasions, at conferences, in universities, to business students, the WIMBIS platform, for instance, and these provide, I've just joined the W community, which is the #1 online community, and I'm looking forward to using my skills. I'm fresh off the Harvard Press, so with a lot to give back to fellow entrepreneurs.
Now, you mentioned financial literacy. What would that entail?
Financial literacy, just understanding how money works. Let's look at the typical entrepreneur. You're running your business. You hardly pay yourself what is your due. Sometimes all that you have is in the business. But if you read books like the A to Z of financial literacy by Nimi Akikube, for instance, it will let you know all that is involved. The fact that you should have a diversified portfolio, you should invest in real estate, have stocks, shares, etc., and savings. The key really, it all starts with savings, and ultimately what we're trying to achieve is financial independence.
I'm feeling left out here. But let me ask you a question that one of the viewers sent in. He says, I hope this Ibrahim Taiwo says, I hope these hard-working women are recognizing the contributions of the men behind their success. So maybe you could answer that.
Honestly, I wouldn't be where I am today without my husband. He's been very supportive. He's really wonderful.